So that like the dude was doing like that stream on what team
They
was
were
it?
doing the pregame. It
They
was
were
like
doing like a
pregame
pregame.
Sun. No, it
Who
was
was the other guy too?
well, it
The
was
other guy was
Dominique
like a yeah, it was
Wilkins.
Dominique Wilkins.
So it was the Hawks. It had to be
Was
the
it? It was the
Hawks
Hawks.
then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was the
So it
Hawks
was the
because Trey Young was
Hawks.
tweeting like, "Yeah, feel better, fucking Bob or whatever
Yeah,
the guy's
it
name
was
is."
like the Hawks versus Denver or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah. So for the
or versus
audience, some
Utah. I don't
context.
know.
There's like this pregame show in the NBA a few days ago. The two like
Local
commentators, yeah, local commentators
Yeah.
are sitting there doing like a pregame like segment, and one of them just like starts to have like his eyes just like roll into the back of his head. He just kind of like leans back and just starts seizing like live on TV. It's fucking really.
And the other dude doesn't notice immediately.
He
He's
doesn't,
like doing
yeah.
his pregame shtick, and he thinks the other guy is kind of just like doing something. Like
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
see that like on the side of his eye, you like sees him moving, but he's not like registering what's going on. And like it looks like one of those videos where the guy like is dying live, like he just has like a brain
really does
aneurysm
look
and just
like
like
that,
dies.
yeah.
Like it literally looks just like that, but apparently he's just fine.
Apparently,
So,
all
like,
it was just some dehydration.
yeah, apparently he didn't drink enough water this morning.
So-
I'm gonna say doubt, but
So the reason that I do kind of believe that is when I was
Yeah.
in college, there was this kid freshman year who had like a really similar incident. He was like, I don't know, like 11:30 p.m. or something on a weeknight.
did you see this yourself?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It was like 11:30 p.m. on a weeknight or something, and like it's like the dorm's always like bustling, shit's going on, but like suddenly like it sounded like there was people were kind of freaking out in the hallway. So like I run out into the hallway, and the guy next door runs out into the hallway, and they're like, yeah, like this guy's in his room having like a seizure in his bed, and we run into the room. I can't. I'm not even gonna say any names because I just don't want to dox anyone.
Yeah.
This guy is naked in his bed, just like seizing like crazy with like blood and foam coming out of his mouth. Like I guess he bit his tongue and was just like saliva. And we're like, oh fuck. So we like get him on his side right away, and we like hold him like while he's seizing to make sure he doesn't like swallow his tongue or anything. Get him on his side. And like eventually like they got an ambulance or whatever. And they took him to the hospital, and like he came back like a day later, and he was like, yeah, apparently like it was just they ran like every test known to man, and it was like he was just like dehydrated and exhausted. No. It had never happened to him before. Nothing like that. He'd never had any kind of a seizure or anything like that. So just like dehydrated and exhausted, supposedly, and just.
I mean, he should go to a neurologist, bro. I hope he got that figured out. I feel like that's not. I mean,
Yeah,
I
don't know.
understand what
mean,
you're saying.
I feel like
there
it
has to
can
be
happen.
some preconditions. I don't know if it happened to like anybody though. Like it might be able to happen to like some certain types of people that already have some pre-existing conditions where like it exacerbates it. Like
Yeah,
those
maybe.
you know what I mean? But I just feel like I just feel like a seizure because a seizure is neurological, dude. It's not like
I
you know
don't.
what I mean?
I don't know that it like always is purely like neural. I mean, I think it's like it is neurological, but it's like like it could be like it could be
It
from
could
like
be
something like
triggered by,
dehydration or something like that.
by conditions. Yeah. But I think the fact that it's so neurological.
Yeah, but
like,
dude, everybody can have a
player
seizure.
or something. Yeah, but was he a football player? Did he have any TBIs?
No,
he didn't play any sports. Okay, well here's a question that interesting about your story. Like, do you actually sleep completely nude?
No, I never sleep completely nude.
That's so weird to me.
Yeah,
like,
that was. I mean, that was like one of the
always get my
weirdest things
underwear,
about the whole experience. Is we just like run into the room and he's like butt ass naked, seizing on the bed. It was very bizarre.
You know other people who've done because I've heard of that before.
Yeah, I know people who sleep naked.
What is that from though? Like, at what age do you start sleeping naked? Do you think?
Birth.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point, but
no, I don't know. I feel like it's probably just like one of those things that like you randomly try, and some people probably just really dig it, and then that's just it. I doubt there's like a specific. I doubt like somebody's like turning 16, like finally I can sleep naked.
I mean, this is gonna be weird, but it's like, I mean, I don't know how you sleep, but like I'm like a really, I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm restless because I think I get good sleep, but like I move around a lot in my sleep. Like pillows are everywhere. Like I have pillows between my legs sometimes. Yeah. Like I'll kick the blanket up. Like I just feel it could be so like. I couldn't put a pillow between my legs with just like my dick and balls hanging on it, and
nice
then like
pillow
what am I gonna
rubbing on your taint?
Yeah, what am I gonna? I wouldn't even. The thing is, like when I wake up, I wouldn't even know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then when you piss yourself, you don't even have like the protective layer of the underwear.
Yeah, I mean that's. I mean, here's the question: do you have like a mattress cover? In case something like that happens.
No,
you don't have a mattress cover?
No,
actually
we might.
Bro.
Actually, we might. I have no recollection. I think we actually did get it like when we bought the mattress. It like I think we like threw in like an extra $50 and they did actually. Now that I'm like thinking about it out loud, I think we did.
Dude, I've accidentally pissed my bed as an adult. It happened once.
Word?
Yeah, word. No cap. I remember it because
I hope you remember it. I mean, that sounds like a scarring experience kind of as an adult.
Well, I'll tell you what, I almost never dream, okay? And I was having a dream that I was peeing.
Oh, I mean, that's how every pissing yourself, like...
I guess. I don't know. I don't remember.
You don't remember being a kid and, like, having dreams like that? Dude, I have
No,
like
not
such
really.
vivid memories from being a kid. That's like the only time I remember
Really?
pissing the bed. Is like, yeah, like you're in a dream and you're like, oh, you run into the bathroom and you're just like, oh, and then like suddenly as you're in the middle of the piss, you wake up and you're like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
because you're lying in a pool of your piss. But yeah, no, that hasn't
Yeah, it
happened to me as an
happened
adult.
like
Sounds lit.
2 years, 3 years ago,
Oh,
maybe
dude,
three.
that's
But I had
awesome.
mattress covers, so it was kind of just like fine, whatever.
Dude, it's
I
kind of
threw
fine.
out the mat.
It's whatever anyway. Even if you just clean it
It's
up,
kind of
like
yeah.
it's
I
not.
mean, actually, Sarah, when she was a puppy, pissed on my mattress like twice.
Yeah,
Um,
dude, like dog piss
but
is
yeah,
way
it
more
just like
disgusting than
happened.
human piss. It's got like way more of a pungent smell. At least I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But I mean, like dog piss has like a purpose, you know, in addition to just being piss. Like
Yeah,
it's
I
supposed to
don't know.
smell. Like I
Sarah's
don't know. Human
Sarah's
piss
piss
doesn't really
never
smell.
smelled that bad, actually. Like it
No.
was. I mean, it smells like dog piss, but it's not like it wasn't
Yeah,
super
but it doesn't
pungent.
smell like
I remember
yeah.
cat piss being a lot more
Cat piss
pungent
smells
than
horrific.
dog piss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
cat
they've
piss is
got
like
like a whole
really, really
separate
pungent.
fucking spray department in that
Hmm.
area.
Yeah,
Well, I
that's
guess
true.
dogs do too. I mean, dogs have glands in their butthole, but I mean, they're not really the same. I guess.
I got some glands.
Yeah. You ever have to? Do you ever have to like what do they call it? Like
I've never popped her
drain the
anal
gland?
gland.
No, you don't pop
No,
it.
I've
It's just
never.
drained or
Whatever.
whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is. No,
Yeah,
I've
dude,
never
I
done
was
that.
like
Maybe
really
I
relieved.
should. But
Emmy's never had issues with that, and I'm like really,
yeah,
I'm like thank God I don't have to like fuck around with her ass.
I know Jimmy said that his dog has that issue. I
Yeah,
think.
dude, and I think you're technically you're not even supposed to do it yourself. Like you're supposed to go to the vet, but I know
I
like
think he
some
goes to a
dogs they have
groomer.
it
Yeah.
like they have it so like some dogs it's like literally just like a constant recurring thing. Like
Really?
they'll like drain it out and it just like yeah like there's like just some issue with like how I think there's even like a surgery you can get if it's like enough of an issue. But again, it's like not everyone can pay for like to go to the vet like every week because their dog's glands are
Yeah.
backed up. You know, I don't know.
Let me ask you this: am I just like a fucking asshole? Someone I was talking to was saying how their dog like um became obese and they like are trying all this stuff with their vet and they can't get it to lose weight. And I'm just like, bro, just stop feeding it. You know what I mean? Like, oh no,
Or
he has an
just
endocrine
walk it.
issue. You
Take
don't
him to
understand.
exercise more.
No, that's what they were like, no. I was like, well, how often do you walk? They're like, no, we walk it like do we 2 hours a day. I was like, there's just no way. Like, what are you
I mean,
feeding
honestly,
it
if
that
it's some
staying
kind of
fat?
endocrine shit, it probably could be a thing.
I just don't believe it. Like I understand like it could like I'm sure it could be more difficult to lose the weight, but when your dog is supposed to be like 30 pounds and it's like 45 pounds, I feel like there's a lot of room where that endocrine is doing that much work. I don't know. Like
I mean,
50%
yeah.
bigger than it's
I know
supposed
with
to
like
be.
I know with like cats and shit. It's not just like that. It's not the like that the. I mean,
Because
it's,
it's
it's
just
the
fat. You mean it's
pancreas,
like
right?
retaining
For like
water
the
and stuff
endocrine
like
system, that's the
that.
pancreas, right? I mean, it's not like the pancreas is like
I mean, the
enormous.
endocrine endocrine is just like your whole hormonal system.
Is it? I thought it was like driven by the pancreas. Maybe I'm wrong. In any event, whatever it is, like I think it's just.
I could
I
be
mean, like
wrong.
again,
I
like
don't
a
know.
hormonal imbalance. I know in cats it can like fuck with cats like weight like crazy. I
Yeah,
don't know,
no, it's
man.
just the endocrine system is a messenger system comprising feedback loops of the hormones released by internal glands of an organism directly into the circulatory system, yada yada. You know, you get it.
So what the fuck does
Just
the
everything. I
pancreas
guess
do then?
the master gland is the pituitary gland, if that's what you're talking about, maybe.
No, I don't know what I'm
I
talking
mean, your
about.
pancreas is
I'm
just
not
one
a
of those
doctor.
things that like filters, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Kidney
It's
plus.
just like it's just some kind of filtering organ. Is an organ located in the abdomen as a center converting the food we eat into fuel for the body cells.
No, there you go.
Yeah, some shit, bro.
Making fuel, baby.
Do you feel like your body like works optimally?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not even
Do you
close,
think
dude.
like but do you feel like it did but now it doesn't? Do you feel like
Yeah,
it's getting
yeah,
worse?
100%, man. 100%. Dude, I
It's
feel like
just like
I'm getting old in general. It's just like I'm like sleeping is a struggle. So like I don't know. I don't know about you. Like the last few nights, I've been like struggling to sleep, and my dog has been too. So I don't know if it's just like something with the weather, or I'm just getting old, or maybe like I'm sleeping more lightly, and because of that, like the dog running around the apartment all night is like keeping me up. I don't know, but dude, it's
does
been a
she literally
struggle.
wake you up? Does she
Let,
literally wake you up
yeah,
or
yeah. Like
yeah,
last
okay.
night, I'm sleeping right, and my girlfriend's out of town, so it's just me and the dog. So I was like, oh, like Emmy, come up in the bed. Like you can sleep in the bed. I like laid out like a little thing for her. She like laid down in it for like 5 minutes, then left. I was like, all right, whatever, fine. So I'm like going to sleep. I hear her running around. She goes to the living room. She jumps up on the couch, like rustles around, jumps off the couch, runs into the guest room, jumps up onto the guest bed, rustles around, comes back to the bedroom, lies down in her bed in our bedroom, doesn't like that either, jumps back up onto the bed, and it's just that cycle for like every 15 minutes for the entire night last night. And I'm just like, bro, I was already struggling to fall asleep for some reason, and then that started happening. It was just
Are
like,
you usually a light sleeper, or was it just like one of those things where you're like already couldn't fall asleep, and so this is just making it so much fucking worse?
it's the latter, but I am a light sleeper. I didn't used to be as light of a
Oh, okay.
sleeper, but again, another thing. In my old age, I've just become like a super
Yeah.
light sleeper. Like if I
Now that
hear
your body's
something,
telling you.
I'm like a cat, dude. Like if something's going on, like I can,
Really?
yeah, literally, like literally, if something's like like
You're
a
just like
sound,
that, huh?
my brain's just like, all right, something's going on. Like fucking, let's go, wake up.
That's crazy. I'm the complete opposite, bro. Like there has to be like Sarah, like to wake me up in the morning, has to like be barking or like literally scratching my face. Like she'll literally
Yeah.
paw at my mouth to get me up.
It's
Because
weird. I've
otherwise,
got
I'm
like
just
some
like
kind of
out.
subconscious thing because if it's like
Yeah.
if it's like a sound that I'm accustomed to and like doesn't like wouldn't draw my attention in normal circumstances, I'll sleep through it. Like I could sleep through like a fire alarm even or something like that. But
Yeah.
like if it's like a like also the timing matters. Like if it's like 7:45 and like Emmy might not even get up, but she's just like in the living room, but I can like hear her like rustle around sometimes. Like she'll like do
Yeah. I know
like
what
a
you're talking
whiny
about.
yawn kind of a thing and like kind of rustle around and like that usually wakes me up. Like I can like hear I'm like, "Oh, almost time." I like look at my phone. I'm like, "Oh, I'm 7:45, about to get up in a few minutes." Like
And when did it start? Like, what do you remember? Like,
my light sleep.
yeah.
Dude, I don't know. Like probably like around college. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So like, it's actually been a while then.
Yeah, yeah.
I
No, I
wonder if it's
used
like an
to sleep like a
anxiety
fucking
response because that's interesting.
maybe, dude. I definitely have anxiety. There's no question
You
about
don't have
that.
problems falling asleep though?
Dude, I can fall asleep like anywhere, anytime in literally in like under 3 minutes.
Yeah, see, that's
I can
interesting because
completely
I feel like
pass
those
out.
things are usually correlated.
Yeah,
Like usually
yeah,
people who are lightsabers can't fall asleep, so
I
it's interesting
agree.
you only have one.
Yeah, yeah. No, my girlfriend's always jealous. It's just like she doesn't get mad, but like low key, she probably is a little bit mad because she kind of has like some insomnia, and like she's like, you just like lie down anywhere. That's the other thing, like anywhere. I could lie down on the bare floor and just pass out. And she's like, I can't like even imagine what that's like. I'm like, it's a blessing. It's also kind of a curse because
Does she wake you up a lot if she's
uh
up or no?
no, not really. She's like a pretty heavy sleeper, I think.
Okay, so
I'd
she
say.
can't fall asleep, but then when she's
Yeah,
out, she's out. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you ever done any like those sleeping meds? Like you ever taken an Ambien or something?
No, I like wanted a prescription to like try it out at one point when I was like a couple of years ago. I was having like some stomach issues and it was like giving me
Yeah.
anxiety and shit. And, like I couldn't really sleep well, so I like wanted to get some. I never did though. I've taken like melatonin and shit. That's like the most I've ever done.
You feel like the melatonin affects you? Because I've
Yeah.
taken melatonin. Like I own melatonin, and it's like it's weird the way it hits you,
It
right?
makes you just drowsy. Yeah, it's just
It just makes you
feels like
drowsy.
it feels like you
Yeah.
took like some allergy meds or something. But the shit
Yeah,
works. I mean,
exactly.
I knock out. Like if there are like times when I'm struggling to fall asleep, yeah, like usually a melatonin does the job. I took one last night, dude. I took one last
Oh,
night,
really?
knocked out, woke up an hour later. Which usually actually doesn't
Crazy.
happen to me at all. That's like a very weird. Like usually like once I'm out with the melatonin, like
Yeah.
that's just it. Like I'm good for the night. But yeah, I don't know, man. It was snowed for the first time last night. Maybe that had something to do with it. But it was like a flurry, so I don't know, man. It's
Oh, yeah.
hopefully it's like, passes in the next week or two cuz I'm not trying to be like a fucking zombie at Christmas.
Yeah, you doing anything? You going somewhere? Anything crazy?
Just
Crazy
going up
plans?
to my girlfriend's place for like a day or two
Yeah.
and then I'm going to go down to my parents and start like packing my shit cuz they've got like most of the stuff from their current house like already packed. So I got to like go and like get all
Do you
my
have to
shit
take
out of
some
the
stuff?
house.
Yeah, you have the
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I was gonna
There's,
say.
like, I
Yeah.
have stuff in the house still that they're like, so they're like, you've got this like filing cabinet that's locked and we don't know what's in it. And I'm like, I don't either.
I don't know what's in it.
Hopefully
Yeah.
I can find the key. Yeah, so shit like
Were
that.
you ever like a big holiday person or no? Because I know
I'm really
you
not
hate
a
Halloween.
huge.
You're
It's
not
not
a big
again. It's
Christmas
not. I
either.
don't hate any holiday. I'm like more stoked about the day off than anything. Maybe this is like also just like getting old.
Yeah.
I just like it's the novelty of it kind of has like worn off for me. It's like I'm just happy to have a day off. I can like go to bed late the night before and like sleep in.
You're
and
not like
go.
excited, but you're not like excited to like pick out presents for people or like wondering
No,
what you're gonna
no.
get. That whole
Dude,
process
honestly,
isn't like
picking out presents is like almost stressful for me because I want to like get something
yeah.
really good, but then I'm like really bad at thinking of ideas. So,
Really? I feel
yeah.
like you'd be good at it. I feel
No,
like
no,
you're pretty.
I'm
Really?
I feel like eventually, like I give a decent gift, but it always takes me like a week of
Yeah.
stressing and like thinking about it, and like I feel like some people they're just like, oh, I'll just get this. Like I already know. Like I've been thinking about it for the last like few months, whereas like I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck, I'm like not even paying attention apparently.
I think the real trick with a lot of that stuff is just you just have to have like the confidence to just like pick a gift. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the people who are just like definitive, like my mom is kind of like this, where she loves buying shit for people, and a lot of times like they're not even that into it, but she is just like such like a she's so confident in like buying it that it's like it works out most of the time because it's just like honestly most people if you're just getting them something are like just stoked that
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
you
just
like
nice to
thought
get
of
a
it.
gift.
So
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like rationally, I understand that in my head, but then
yeah.
like when it comes time to it, I'm like, damn, I gotta perform. Like,
Yeah,
like
you get the
I want,
pressure's on, dude.
yeah,
You get and you have to one up because you did a good job last year. So now it's like, oh
yeah.
shit, you can't go down from that.
Like this year, I was worried about my gift, so I got. It's see, this is the thing. Like I'm already like starting to like second guess it, like as I'm talking about it. I
You're
got
doubting,
my
yeah.
girlfriend's been talking about. So our like Emmy sheds a lot. Our dog sheds a lot. So we've been like keeping all surfaces clean is like the biggest pain in the dick you can imagine. So like anybody who doesn't have a dog, like a great
Yeah.
reason to not get a dog if they
Yep.
shed.
Big true.
So like vacuuming, like dusting, like cleaning it off the couches, cleaning it off the rugs, like where it sticks to everything. Like the vacuum cleaner like doesn't even always pick it up on the first pass. So like you need to do like vacuum like 3 times over the course of 3 days to get it. Whatever. Anyway, so she's been complaining about that and like I get it because like I'm having to do the same thing. And she's like, yeah, like when we get a house, like a Roomba is gonna be a must. And I was like, boom, done. Like so I just got a Roomba. But see, the thing is like it's kind of a gift for both of us. It's like it's not even really just a
Yeah.
gift for her. It's not a gift that it's just kind of a gift that's gonna make life for both of us a little bit easier. So I'm like, damn, like is that really like a good, thoughtful gift, or am I just like kind of doing it for myself and like a little bit for her? I don't know, but I don't know. I think it'll be a good gift. It does
No,
make
that
things
sounds
easier.
good. I mean, if I feel like if they're saying they want it, it's like that's like immediately just like
Yeah, that was that
you're hitting
exactly.
all the parameters for the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
So
that's why I was saying like this year was like a little bit easier. I think because like I don't know, maybe I was just paying attention more because I knew I was going to be stressed, so I was kind of like listening for like potential ideas, but should be good.
what kind of gifts do you like getting the most? Like, have you ever got a gift that you were like surprised that you actually liked?
Uh, no, dude, I don't know. I'm kind of the same way as my parents with this. I like getting practical shit. I don't know if you're the same way. Like I
Hmm.
don't like tchotchkes. I don't like knickknacks. I don't like any of
Yep.
that shit. I'm like, get me something that like I'm gonna like get me some socks. Honestly, like I'll be stoked with some socks. Like something that I don't have to worry about buying. Somebody gets it for me. Boom. Like just a nice, quick, easy little gift. Shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
What about you? What
I
do
don't
you
know.
like getting? You're the big holiday
I'm
guy. Like why am I answering all these
I'm
questions?
not
What
a
are
bi-
you?
I'm not a huge holiday guy, but
Oh,
like
here we
growing
go.
up, no, listen, I'm just saying my mom is a big holiday person, so it's one of those things where
So
it's
it's
just like
rubbed off
growing
on you.
up. Yeah, it was just like growing up, it was like a thing. I'm kind of like you, where I like practical stuff, but I'm like picky. Here's the thing, like if you get me something I don't like, you know what I mean?
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
no,
gonna
I'm
lie
well
to you
aware.
and say I'm not gonna use it. You know what I mean? I'm one of those people that's like,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, I'll be nice about it, but it's like I'm just gonna like if you ask me especially like, oh, do you like it? I'll be as cordial as I can be, but I'm not gonna be like, you know,
yeah,
I'll
that
be like,
still
oh,
has to be one
it's
of the
really nice,
weirdest.
but it's like, oh, it's really nice. I appreciate it, but I don't know if I'm gonna wear it. Something like if you got me like a jacket that I didn't like or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see the way you're
Um,
describing it now even sounds like more tame than what I'm remembering you describing to me like I don't know when it was, a few weeks ago
well,
when
it
we were
depends who it is. It depends who it is. If it's my mom, I'll
Okay,
just straight
yeah,
up be
yeah.
like,
You got to
if it's
tell
my
this story
mom
with like
sends
your
me something,
sweater, like the sweater that you don't
oh yeah.
like.
Oh yeah, dude. No, no. My mom has gotten me so much stuff where I'll literally just be like, I'm not gonna wear this. Like, I don't like this. Like, you could just return it.
Which to me is just fucking baffling. Like at the moment of the gift opening, like I feel like usually
Yeah.
the thing to do with something like that is to just put a gift receipt in there and then you can go exchange it yourself if you want. So it's hilarious to me that like as you open the gift, you're like, nah, I don't like this. Just like close it back up.
Straight
It's
up.
just like,
Straight up.
hey, can you imagine like that must feel like so shitty as the gift giver though? You're just like, damn, like I thought I was doing like getting like a nice little gift here, and he
Nah, she
opens it and is
knows.
just immediately like, nah.
Dude, my mom, I'm telling you, my mom appreciates that. Like, that's what. Because if I don't do that, she'll ask me after. She'll be like, John Mark, are you gonna wear that? And then I'll be like, no, I wouldn't. Like, she doesn't.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
yeah.
know how to explain it. Like, we're close enough where it's like she knows how I am. So it's not like a weird thing where it's like, if it was a straight, like if you got me something, okay, and I knew I wasn't gonna wear it, I would probably give you the cordial answer. You know what I mean? I wouldn't just be like, oh my god, why did you get this for me?
Yeah, yeah. That's fair.
But and like
I guess
Okay,
we
the
are always
tchotchke
like
thing.
just like more liberal with like how we respond to like our family members and stuff like
I'm
that.
probably we're probably especially more candid, like
Yeah.
in my family. I think that's like a little bit. I don't know if it's like a Southern Italian thing in particular, but like it's not uncommon to just like literally just say what you're thinking, like to family members like
Dude,
that.
I
It's
think
not
honestly
that
that's much
crazy.
more of a thing just outside of the US. I think like most cultures
Yeah,
outside of the US that's like a lot more acceptable with like, you know, like cuz I like, you know, coming from like Eastern European background too, like that's not
yeah,
like my mom is exactly like that. My mom like
yeah,
she'll literally like I mean like I'm sure she's lost friends in the US cuz she just like she's giving them straight. She'll like give it to them straight and like
yeah.
whatever's on her mind, she'll just say it. It's like if you don't like it, you don't have to do anything about it, but I'm going to like let you know.
Yeah, my mom, this is actually a pretty funny story. My mom's like best friend when I was a kid, was this gay guy, right?
Yep.
And he would like come over to the house a lot. He was like very flamboyant, you know what I mean? Really super nice guy. Uncle Ruben is what we called him. Anyway, one time my dad comes in, like I don't know, he came home from work or something. I don't know, he was doing work outside. He came in while this guy was here, and he just immediately the first thing he says to this guy, he's like, "Wow, you got fat." Like just straight up
That's
doesn't say
awesome.
hello. And this dude like bugged out. You know what I mean? Like he was
Yeah,
literally trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
fight my dad. Like he was
Oh,
that
what?
insulted
Oh
by it.
shit. Well,
Yeah,
did he
dude, he
get
was like
fat? Sounds
super
like
insulted.
your
Yeah,
dad
he
was
did
right.
get fat. He was right. That's why it's funny. But it's just like it's that kind of thing where it's like it's just like unfiltered and it's just like it's like he just saw him, thought that, and was like, okay, I'm just gonna tell this guy that he
It's
got
funny
fat.
that
Like
you
there's just
did that.
nothing else.
It's funny that he did that with like a non-family person because like for example like a Russian like mom or like a Ukrainian
Yeah.
mom or like any Eastern European mom like if like their kids or their family are like getting fat or something like that they'll be like dude you're getting fat like you need to lose some weight. It's just like oh shit.
I didn't like this guy. So it was one of those things probably where it was already like
Yeah, he
it
was
was
just
probably a
like
little bit
low-hanging
malicious,
fruit.
but it was just like yeah, like he does also doesn't care. Like even for someone you don't like in the like for most like I feel like it's probably comes from like British culture, but it's like you would never be that over.
No, no, no,
Like
no. That's like
you might be like
that's
you might
rude.
say some shit like imply it like oh man like that doesn't like honestly you probably wouldn't even imply it like
No,
say like that
you
doesn't
would
fit you
avoid
or
it. Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, you would just avoid the topic even if you don't like the person just because it's like it's so taboo.
It's a weird kind of like self-compounding like catch-22 thing though, right? Because it's like the reason that it's taboo is like because we've just like not done it for so long, but the reason we haven't done it
Yeah.
so long is like it's taboo or whatever. So whereas like other countries just like fuck it.
Yeah, they just
Keep her
unleash. But it
going.
is
Yep.
like it makes it because it like is insensitive. Like it is kind of fucked up to just be like I appreciate it personally when people are straight up with me. Um, but like I can understand why like especially if you're not used to that, like you would have that reaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Where you're just like what? Like why are you just coming at me like that? Like what the fuck?
Has your dad been up to anything else crazy
I
since
haven't
he went back to
I
Italy?
haven't talked to him, bro. I've talked to him like 3 times. All the last thing I heard is that he was looking to get a whippet. If you know what kind of dog it is, they're like slightly, they're like a size between an Italian Greyhound and a Greyhound.
Yeah, yeah.
And he like showed me
He
some
misses
pictures.
your childhood dog.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like literally. But so he sent me some pictures of like some puppies he was looking at, and like guess what he wants to name? He like I'll just give you a guess. It's an American fruit, an American word for a certain
Kumquat.
type of fruit that he wants. No, it's not kumquat.
Damn, I thought that
It's
was a
so
really good guess.
it's a brown dog. It's like a brown whippet he's looking at, and he
Banana.
wants to name it Blueberry.
Oh, I
Like,
actually kind of like that.
what? I mean, it's kind of
Is
a
he just
cute
gonna call
name.
it Blue for short?
I don't know.
Because you
What's
can't walk
interesting?
around calling it blueberry. You got to have like a quick one
He
or two
might.
syllable.
He
You know,
might. He's yeah. I don't know. Berry, blue, blueberry. I
BB,
don't know. We'll see.
Habibi.
But yeah, I'm happy. I mean, I feel like top 3 things I would do when I retire is like get an animal if I didn't already have one.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, for
I
sure.
just feel like it's such
Especially
a
if you're
good
like not
way to spend
if you
time.
don't have like a partner or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
if you're
exactly.
separated or just never had one or they passed away, whatever it might be. Yeah, like a pet seems like it would be like vital. Because
Even
I
not
don't
though,
know. I
like
mean, I'm sure you know, but like, I don't know. I always hated living alone. Living alone kind of sucks. I mean, it's got like its benefits, but it's also like it can definitely get lonely, and like that loneliness is. I mean, that's some real shit.
I don't. Yeah, I mean that's interesting. I really like my alone. Like, I feel like I get so much interaction from spending time with you guys on Discord, which I know isn't like that sounds like it's just gonna always exist. So it like makes sense to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
get a partner or have an animal or something like that. It's not like reliable, but I really like my alone time. Like, I mean, I love having Sarah. I mean, even when I'm with Sarah, I kind of feel like alone in that sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
relationship you have with an animal is
yeah.
obviously
It's not the
different,
same
but
as a
I like.
person, of course.
I kind of like being alone. I don't know. Like
Oh,
that's
that's
like one
interesting.
thing that I wonder. like even when I lived with my sister, because I lived with just my sister and I for like what was like 3 years, or 2 years maybe. I don't even remember now. Yeah,
Yeah.
3 years I think. Which was when I was in college. Like it's something. I'm really close with my sister, like legit. Like she's like one of my best friends. Like we grew up together, super close. But like I don't feel 100% comfortable unless I'm alone.
Mm.
It's weird. I don't know how else I don't know why, but it's like there is something super comforting or just like about being completely alone in a space that's like your own.
Well, it's definitely weird that you
Um,
were jerking off in front of your sister. That's definitely a strange one, but
that's not. Yeah, we're in the same room.
yeah, I mean, that's like, listen, if I know why you wanted to be alone, though, it's okay. You don't
We're
have
like
to
living in
explain
like one of
anymore.
those Japanese houses where it's just like one room and you sleep on like the floor on like a blanket.
Yeah.
I'm just
And
like
she was getting
I'm just
uncomfortable.
winging
That's
it
actually why you got
out.
different places in the same building, I hear, is just she was like, that's enough.
Yeah,
I
I don't
can't.
know why I was uncomfortable
I
being so weird. I don't know.
yeah.
I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. So even when you had roommates, you felt like you felt lonely?
No, 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 no. Like when I had having roommates was like honestly when I had roommates
Okay.
in New York, it was pretty mid, just because.
That's what I meant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we didn't really. I mean, I was like, I'm like friends with one of the guys. The other guy was a little bit weird, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It just wasn't. It somehow wasn't the same as it was in like college having roommates or something like that. I don't know if it's like.
Yeah. Not the same
I
camaraderie
mean,
or
I guess
something.
you are just rolling the dice. I mean, I got lucky in college and had like a roommate who's like still my best friend to this day. So,
Yeah.
you can't just expect that that's gonna like happen every time. Just rolling the dice.
Do you like doing things alone, like just in general, or are you
Yeah.
like one of those people like you would never go to the movies alone or like something like that?
Oh, okay. No, that's a good question. So I like doing like hobbies and stuff on my own. Like I like tinkering with stuff on my own, or like, mowing the lawn, or like doing chores and stuff like that. I like kind of like that's like my alone time where I kind of like reboot. But like yeah, no, like for going out and doing stuff, yeah, like I'd rather be with somebody and like,
Oh, really? Okay.
experience it together. I'm weird, man, because I'm like, I recharge for sure. I recharge from being alone, but like I do also like feed off of like the energy of human interaction. So it's like
Have
weird. I
you
need
done
both.
stuff alone? Have you gone to a movie alone before, or like gone out to eat alone, or anything like that?
Not in years. Not in years.
Okay. Because like for me, I mean,
I mean,
maybe
like in
it's just 'cause I've
college,
been alone for
sometimes
so long.
that it is sometimes like that's the way it works out with like eating. Like people are in class and like you've been studying, and you just like pop down to the cafeteria, have like a quick meal, and would go up. I never
But
really
have you ever
liked
gone
that
to
though.
a restaurant alone? I'm saying though, completely alone,
Not that I can think
like
of,
ordered food or
probably.
something like that. Well, that's interesting. Not even for like lunch at work or anything.
I mean, I would just pick it up and come back. Like I wouldn't
Oh, okay.
sit down to eat by myself.
Yeah, interesting.
Like I'd
Okay.
rather just be somewhere, because again, like if I'm by myself, I'd rather just go back to wherever I was, where it's like probably more comfortable than where I like. And I
Like your
also,
personal space.
again, and this is where like the introversion kind of comes back into it. I don't really like. I'm not. I don't really like get much from like being in a crowd. Like I'm not. I'm not a big like crowd lover. Like it's like I'm not like
Fuck, that's
averse to
so.
them. Like it doesn't like freak me
Yeah.
out to be in a crowd. Like I don't have like social anxiety like that. But like if you ask me like would I rather like hang out in my own room in my own space with my food, or be like by myself out and about, I'd rather just be in my own room, because like I'm not getting anything from being out and about at that point.
I legitimately like the feeling of being alone around other people, like being around strangers.
Oh.
Like being at the like working out alone, for example. I love that.
Oh
Going to the
yeah, I
movies
could never
alone.
work
I
out with
love that.
anybody. I never like
Yeah.
I even had like a couple instances like where like I would be at the gym, and like like you see the same people at the gym
Yeah.
eventually, and like you start like I chit chat with people, but like you could see like some people just started like working out together after a while. I was like never like that, like swapping
Yeah.
out after sets and stuff, like that was never me. I was like, I'm here to like just do my thing, get it done, and get out.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah. The working out with other people thing. I get why people are into it. Like I feel like I could get into it if you had like a training partner that was like really on the same page as you and you like
Yeah,
motivated each
I was
other.
gonna say it's a
Like with running.
motivational thing. You have to be on the
Yeah.
same.
I think with running, I kind of felt like I wanted to run with somebody when I was running over the summer. That was one thing that was interesting. Like I
Oh,
noticed
really?
like I felt like at times like I felt like I could have pushed myself more, like days when I was like going a little bit, I was kind of lazy with it. Like I thought like,
Yeah.
oh, if I had someone here that was like also running, I would be like competitive with them. Like it would drive me. You know what I mean? Whereas with the gym, it's like I'm just so solo driven and like in my own world that it's like I can just do it on my own. You
Hmm.
don't feel like that when you're running at all? Like there'll be points like honestly, I can tell you exactly when it happens. Like a mile to a mile and a half in, right? I'll
Yeah.
hit a point where I'm like hitting my stride, and like either I'm like motivated to like I'm gonna go 5, 6, 7, 8 miles. I'm just gonna keep going today,
Yeah, yeah.
or I'm like oh I'm a mile and a half from home. I'm gonna go a mile and a half back,
Yeah,
baby.
bang out the 3 miles, baby.
Yeah, just bang out the 3 miles, get this shit over with. And it's like right at that point, like, but if I was running with someone else and they're like, we're running 5 miles today, you know what I mean? I'm running 10 miles today. Like all right, I'm with it,
Yeah, it's
So I don't know.
interesting. It would be. I think it would be like kind of tough for like distance running if you were just like in a pair. You know what I mean? Because
Really?
it would. Yeah, because like
Explain to me. I've never ran with somebody else. I've
because
only ever run
inevitably
alone. So
somebody
explain it.
is not going at their optimal pace if not both people. So
Mhm.
it's like either one person is like slowing down for the other person, or the other person's having to speed up way more than like they should be able to, or like sustainably can do. Or they're kind of like both meeting in the middle where like neither one of them is getting like the perfect workout, and then like they're both kind of sacrificing a little bit. Now like it's weird because like with things like I'm thinking back to like being on like doing track and like being on the track team and stuff, and like for that kind of stuff it definitely works. Yeah, because it's like you've got your peers there. They're like you're running against each other. You're like especially with like shorter distances. You're like running 200s or something. You're kind of like racing a little bit against even though it's just practice, but it's there's still like that element of competitiveness to it.
But like, I get what you're saying with the pairs thing, where like you could never like 100% push yourself in the right way, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like the chances that you and this other person are identical is like impossible.
Right.
But I still feel like in the net, like one. I don't think all training needs to be perfect. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be like min maxed all the time. And two, I just feel like in the net, like if you're overall getting more miles in than you would otherwise, even if you're not like physically exerting yourself, it's still like a net positive. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't really know.
I don't know. Yeah,
Um,
maybe this is just like my weird like I don't know,
you're
like
a min
anxiety
maxer.
about like inconveniencing people, but like in my head I'm like I'm either going to be frustrated that somebody's going too slow, or I'm going to feel like self-conscious that like they're having to slow down for me, and like that would just like fuck with my head. Like that's why I would
Yeah.
like when it comes to working out, I'm like I just want to do it by myself. Like I can set my own pace, I can set my own goals, and like yeah, there's like some incremental willpower that I think you lose from like having like, an example next to you as like a motivator, but I don't know. It's like not enough for me to, be like, yeah, like
Is it not just fun to do with someone else though? I actually don't know because I've never worked out with someone else, so I don't know. But like in my mind, I feel like running with someone else would just be more fun. But maybe I'm
I
just
think if it was like a group of like, I don't know, like a dozen people, it would be fine cuz it's
okay.
just like everyone's kind of got like the same thing in mind. Like no one's going to be having a perfect workout. Like no one's being
Yep.
more held back than anybody else or vice versa. Like it's kind of like you get like a lot like a much better kind of like average across everybody. Um and it's like much more likely that you can like find somebody. I mean, I guess like if you found somebody like let's say you were running like in like a running like group or club, like you sometimes you go out really early in the
Yep.
morning, you see like some fucking weirdo people.
I've wanted to do that, but yeah.
Really? Yeah, that
Thanks.
freaks me out. It's too early in the morning because they're out there like
They do it
5:45 a.m.
early.
with like 30
Yeah.
people. But if you could find a group like that and run with them for a little while, and then like find like the person that's like near your pace, that would probably be fine. It's just to me, it would, like I would want to like find somebody who was like pretty closely matched, ideally.
I mean, I think we were pretty like when we were running over the summer, we were like both tracking. Like we were pretty similar. Like I don't think we would have had an issue. Like me, you, and Jimmy.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah,
all three of
that's
us
actually
were
true.
all with like we were like there was like a window where like we were all within reason of like you
Yeah,
know what I mean.
yeah, that's true.
It's not like
We all kind of had the same goal too, which helps. I think.
yeah,
It's like we
that's
were all
true.
kind of working towards the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like if there was someone like that was like my neighbor, like I feel like it would be fun to do like that. But I don't know.
Dude,
It's also like
Yeah, go
okay.
ahead. No, go ahead.
No, finish. I was on. I was
No,
kind
I
of
was
done with
about
that.
to. I was about to say something totally random because I'm just sitting here like fucking with my face.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking like it is a good point where it's like you kind of have to be on the same page with the people you're doing stuff with.
Yeah, yeah.
Just in general. I mean, I feel like that's an issue. I mean, this is really random, but like when we play video games, there is when we play video games, there is like a really big disconnect between some of us about like what we want to do in the game. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I mean, all you got to
that
do
might
is
be
look
the
at the death counts on across the
that might be the
scoreboard.
number one. That might be like one of my number one just like triggers in general when we're playing a game where it's like I want everyone to be on the same page, but I also don't want to upset everyone by just being like, listen, this is what we have to fucking do. Like we have to play the way I want to fucking play.
Yeah, you got to grab the
But
bull by the horns, though, Dom.
yeah, I mean, how about this? What's some other shit that bothers you? Because like that's one thing that really like having like being disconnected with other people when you're doing a group activity and not being able to like properly communicate that shit. I feel like almost all of my issues with other people come down to just like not being able to accurately communicate what I want to them. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. No, I'm actually the same way, and it's because one of my like a huge pet peeve of mine is like it's kind of like falls into the same thing, but just like inconsiderateness. I don't know if that's even a word.
Oh,
Like
okay, yeah.
inconsiderateness. I don't know,
You mean like
inconsiderateness.
people being rude to like servers and shit? Like, what do you
No, no,
mean?
no, no, no. That's just rudeness. I mean, that's a pet
Okay,
peeve
that's
too,
really
but I
rude.
just mean
Okay,
more
yeah.
like like holding the door open for somebody, or like thinking about like what, like if you're like asking somebody to do something, like what they're gonna have to like put themselves through to do it, like like be
Oh,
like, oh,
okay.
like can you go wash the dishes? Like I would feel really uncomfortable like asking my girlfriend like, hey, you want to wash those dishes for me, because it's just like, I don't know, it's like it's almost like, oh well, like I'm not really considering like maybe she's having like a busy day or something like that, but that
Yeah.
like it's also it like hamstrings the fuck out of me when I need to like ask somebody to do something, though, because my first thing that I go to in my head is like, how would I feel if somebody asked me to do this? And usually the answer is like, because I'm asking somebody else to do it, I don't want to do it. So
You
it's
don't want
like,
to do it
yeah, so
inherently,
it's like
yeah.
I feels like inconsiderate to ask somebody else to do that, because I'm assuming, like projecting from myself, that they don't want to do it either, right? So I don't know, that's it's like a weird one, but it definitely grinds my gears when people just like don't consider that at all, and just like are just like, yeah, fuck it, like I need this, and like I don't really care what you have going on, or like,
Does it
I
bother you more when they're doing it to you or when you notice them doing it to other people?
um it probably bothers me more when I notice it happening to somebody else, because
Yeah.
I just kind of internalize it. I think I just kind of, I'm just like, well, like I get annoyed, but like it actually kind of makes me a little bit angry when it's happening to like other people.
Yeah. I feel like you also notice it more. Like a lot of times when people ask you to do stuff, like I think a lot of people's, if you're not like a complete narcissist, like your inherent reaction is just to be like, okay, yeah, like if it's something easy or reasonable, even if it's an inconvenience, like you'll just be like, okay, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Um, but like I notice it like with my sister, for example, because I feel like she's willing to like go above and beyond to help people,
yeah, yeah,
and I'll listen to some shit that like someone will like ask her to do, and I'll just be like, and you're just gonna do like
yeah.
you're just like gonna give all this time to this person for like for free.
No,
It's
you
like
know what it
crazy to
literally
me.
is? My mom
Like,
used to like shit on my dad for this. She's like, you like can't say no to people, and because of that,
yeah,
she's like, you overwork the fuck out of yourself because people just
yep,
take advantage. And like that's what pisses me off, is like the fact that this is like a good person who's willing to like go above and beyond, won't say no, and you're basically like taking advantage of it
taking
sometimes. You
advantage.
know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what's fucked up is in some ways it's like a. I mean, I'm not trying to talk shit on your dad or whatever, but it's also like a little bit not selfish isn't the right word, but there's like also some like inconsiderate like to yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like by
For
helping all these
sure.
other people do this, you're like losing something. Like you're losing your own
Yeah,
time
you're
and
giving
ability to do
yourself
stuff.
up. Yeah.
And then it also has like downstream effects to like your other responsibilities and shit. I always think about that where it's just like
No,
it
that's
just like
facts.
sucks.
I'm honestly,
Yeah.
I'm the exact same way too. I was literally about this, like as my
Yeah.
dad, like I'm the same way. Like if like if at work somebody asks me to do something, or like, even that's the other thing. Like even like at home, or like even if a friend asks me to do something that I don't want to do, I'll be like annoyed about it. Like I'll be really annoyed, but I'll just be like, yeah, no, no problem, I got it. It's just like, even though like I don't want to do it, I probably don't like have time to do it. Maybe the desire, maybe the drive, whatever it is. But yeah. You know what? Speaking of which, I just thought of another like pet peeve that's a huge one for me and falls right into this category. But bad drivers, man. Like drivers, like I mean, like you're in your driver's ed class right now, so you'll experience this someday. But like,
Uh,
dude, it's like
what is it? Do you actually get like angry though, or is it just like frustrating? Like, what is it?
I
How
get
does it
yeah, no, I get
internalize for you?
frustrated. I don't have like road rage at all or anything like that. Like I'm not gonna like brake check somebody or like cut them off or like tailgate the fuck out of them or anything like that, because like they've committed some
But do
perceived
you like
slight
curse to
against me.
yourself? Like you'll be like this motherfucker. Like you're one of those people who just starts cursing in the car.
It's less of like, you motherfucker, and I'll be like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, get the fuck
Yeah,
out of the way. Like,
you're an absolute R word.
yeah. But no, actually, I mean, like when you're on the interstate, for example. So like, this
Hmm.
probably. If I mean, the way my dad taught it to me, and the way that makes sense, and the way that like every other country except for the U.S. does it, is the only time that you should be in the left lane is if you're actively passing somebody. If you're
Right.
not
Yeah.
actively passing somebody, do not be in the left lane, because you're making traffic for everybody. And it's
That's the
like
speeder lane though.
it's the speeder lane. But that's the thing, is like 90% of my like frustration on the road comes from people just sitting in that left lane going the exact same speed as everybody else. And it's just like, bro, you're making traffic for everybody just because you're not considerate enough to just think about what's going on behind you and just see that there's like 15 cars in the left lane like who are trying to get past you, and you just won't get the fuck out of the way. You know, and the thing is like you'd feel like a dick like honking at them or like flashing your lights or something, but like they are in the wrong. But I don't know, it's like I always feel weird about starting to do that because then it's.
Do you think they're inconsiderate or just ignorant?
I think they kind of go hand in hand.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think those two things are like, you know, I think they go hand in hand.
Because a lot of times when I think of people who are inconsiderate, I think of like someone who's like they're just like anyone who like talks on their phone in like like on the train or like in any kind of public space where they're just being like. It's just like, dude, like, come on. Or you're playing music or videos on your phone at the gym. It's like shit like that. Like, that's just like straight up being an inconsiderate asshole. But then there is some stuff like what you're saying where it's like, I understand that it's like, that's like a norm that they're breaking. But it also could just be like, they could legitimately just like, that could just be normalized to them. So like,
yeah, but I think you can apply that to anything that you described. Like what you just described, like a person talking loudly on the phone on the train. Like they might not even be thinking about it. They might like not even really realize that like that's annoying as shit to everybody else because they're in the conversation. Like they're not the ones having to sit there and listen to it. So they're just like, whatever, I'm just having my conversation. Like other people can just mind their own business, you know? Yeah. It's a very American thing, honestly. It's pretty frustrating. It's.
You think so? Is that an American thing though?
Maybe. It's an American thing much more than it is like other culture. It's much more prevalent in American culture than it is in other cultures, in my experience at least. It's like, and I think it kind of goes back to like America's like core values, like, you know, like the individual, like individualism, like you're like this important shining star, and like, you know, everybody's, you know, unique and important and so on. And like when you do that, everybody just starts thinking that they're unique and important and like fuck everyone else. Like I don't care, you know, like I'm a star.
Did you ever feel like that?
No.
Never. You never had like that moment as a teenager where you felt like you were like smarter than other people or anything like that?
I mean, if I did, I repressed it because I don't know. I just don't think that's like a good mentality to have.
You never remember being like a really arrogant like 17-year-old or something that just like thought you knew more than other people ever?
Not really, because it like for example, like personality wise, like it makes me uncomfortable when people like shower me with like compliments or like say like what a good job I'm doing and so on and so forth. So like I think like I wouldn't do it to myself either to get to that point where I'm like, well, it's hot not shit.
Yeah, but okay, here. It's less about thinking you're hot shit and more about like thinking everyone else around you is an idiot or something like that. That's how I think
thought that, but usually it's just because all the other people around me are idiots. Like I don't think that I'm like tremendously smart. It's just that I'm like smart enough to realize that they're all idiots.
Okay, yeah, but I feel like that's the same thing. It's just like it's
I guess no, because
like showing itself differently.
I always went to schools where like, I mean, maybe like with the exception of like, I don't know. I did very well in like elementary school, which like honestly isn't even a flex because it's elementary school. But like after that, like because I did well, like I went to like the magnet program middle school and then like the IB program in high school. Like that, like I was never the smartest person in the room. So like you kind of like get used to that, and it was honestly very like probably like good in retrospect to like have that experience because I never really got like cocky or arrogant like that. Like, you know,
right. So you were humble in like those environments, but when you're out of those environments, you didn't.
It's still no, it carries through the same way.
So when you were with like the normal students, for example, you didn't feel like you were better than them or anything like that? You didn't look down on them at all? Ever?
I don't know. I don't know. I probably was like, I don't know. I probably felt smarter, but not in like I'm better than you kind of way, or like, you know, I'm superior to you kind of way. It was just kind of like, you know.
I'm just surprised because I feel like I don't even think it's like a bad or abnormal thing. Like, I think most people at some point in their life just feel like they're like above. I feel like it's like a youth thing, you know what I mean? Where it's like you don't have the contextualization of like understanding other people's positions and like that different people are good at different things, stuff like that. Where it's just like you just have like this blanket. You know
maybe. I'm sure I've had like moments in my head where like I've felt like that, but like I don't know. I've tried to like never let something like that go to my head. Like I hope I don't come off like that way to other people because I don't even feel that way. Like I don't feel like I'm.
You come off as arrogant sometimes.
Do I? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I'm not
even trying to.
I'm sure.
I come off as arrogant.
We all do, I think.
Yeah,
on Discord for sure.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that's just like strong personality rather than like arrogance. I'm actually curious. Can you think of an example? Because like,
I
I'm genuinely curious.
Not with him. I don't feel it as much with me, but I definitely feel like sometimes when you talk to certain people, you're really quick to just like,
Oh, I'm
not
extremely judgmental. Is
yeah,
that?
like yeah, well, it's like judgmental, but it's also like you'll just kind of like overtly laugh at something stupid that someone says, and it can, or like you'll just like call out someone for, like you said, you have a fairly strong personality where it's just like if someone says something dumb or that doesn't make sense, you'll immediately like call them out, and maybe not explicitly, but like basically say like what you're saying is fucking dumb. Which I mean, I do it too. I'm not saying it's like a special thing. Like we can both be kind of aggressive in that way, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm not like saying it's a bad thing necessarily, but it does come off, I think, like as just like when you're not the person, when I'm watching someone else do it, I notice how arrogant it can sound.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
for sure.
When it's like you're basically just saying like you're an idiot for thinking this, and this is why. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Well, do you
And
know
it's
what
not
that
like
probably
explicit,
is
but yeah,
more than like you're an idiot. To me in my head, like I'm now that
yeah,
you're saying it, like I can kind of like imagine some of the scenarios like that. To
yeah,
me it's like less about being like arrogant and like even like putting somebody down. To me it's really just like a reality check, cuz I think a lot of people
yeah,
don't get enough reality checks where it's just like just
yeah.
stop for a second and like just think for a second and like consider like what's going on and like around you, consider who you're talking to, consider like where you stand in that hierarchy. I think that's like one of the big things that a lot of people don't realize is like where they stand in terms of like a social hierarchy, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
I
Like
completely
some
agree.
people
Yeah, I
think
mean,
they're like way higher than they are, and some people think that they're way lower than they are, and it's like that kind of like imbalance like is like, I don't know, especially when it's kind of like, other people being like arrogant, like or like cocky or like acting like a know-it-all. My immediate reaction, like if I know that like I know something better, is to put them in their place, and that's definitely something that I
yeah.
do a lot.
I think it's a good thing. I don't even think it's necessarily bad or like I don't think you ever do it maliciously. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like I
it's
don't think
not
you're trying
bad,
to
but
put
there's
someone down,
definitely like
but it just does
gentler
come
ways
off
to
like
do
that
it. Yeah,
sometimes.
there's definitely like nicer ways to do it than than I do it.
The thing is, some people will not get it unless you're aggressive with them, in my opinion. Like
Yeah,
it needs to be like they
yeah.
need to feel something.
Well, I mean, if you get to
And
like a
they'll just
certain
keep
point
going.
in life and you're still like behaving a certain way, then like yeah, the fact of the matter is like
Yeah.
you probably just do need like a hard check, like from somebody or some experience or something happening or
Yeah.
seeing something, whatever it might be.
I mean, it also comes off. I mean, we're talking about like pet peeves, and this is kind of like falls into a similar thing, but like people who just like lie about shit. I mean, so
Oh
okay, for
yeah.
example, something happened yesterday where someone said something that was just clearly an exaggeration or a lie, and like my immediate reaction, like I could not help myself. I was just like, "That's bullshit." Like I was literally
Yeah,
like, "There's no way
that
that's
was
true."
funny how quickly you
Yeah.
called that.
It's just like, I mean, there's just literally no way that's accurate. You know what I mean? And it's like a situation like that. Like if you don't know me, if that's like the first thing you ever hear, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's probably like, I mean,
It comes off
one,
aggressive.
it comes off aggressive, but I feel like it immediately sets the tone that like that's not gonna fly in
Yeah.
this relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't just be saying shit like that's off the top of your head, even if you're just like, because honestly, like a lot of the times people just say shit, they don't even think about it. Like that's just how they communicate. They just exaggerate, or like if it's normal for you to lie with people, you're just gonna do it unknowingly. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It
And
just
that's
becomes
how
like a
I was
part of you.
growing up. Like I was a big like liar, exaggerator type person. Um, I mean, not like super bad, but like it was just like normal. Like it wasn't like a weird thing when I
Mhm.
was like, in middle. I think a lot of middle schoolers are like that. You know what I mean?
Fucking middle
Um,
schoolers.
where it's just like you lie with your parents and you bullshit with your friends, and it's the classic. She goes to another school. You know what I mean? That's just like the
Yeah, yeah,
classic
yeah.
line. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
just how like you are when you're 12. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at some point you have to realize that like if you never get out of that environment where people are gonna call you on your shit, or like it's just normal for you to make shit up. I mean, that's so dude. When it's obvious someone is making something up and you have to sit there and listen to it, and for whatever reason you can't
Yeah.
just immediately call them out, it's one of the most infuriating things to me, dude. Like I literally my blood starts to boil
You know
where
when
it's
that
just like
gets really
listening to
fun
someone bullshit.
is at work. That's when that really gets fun.
Oh no, dude.
When it's just like, you're not in like the position to like call somebody on something, but it's just like,
Yeah.
everyone else knows, everyone in the room knows. The only person that like is falling for their own shit is like, them in their head.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one.
Yeah.
You know another one I just thought of, and I don't know if I'm gonna sound like a real boomer with this one, but
Hell yeah.
one that I've noticed lately for myself, dude, loud noises. hate loud noises, bro.
It's a mega boomer one, dude.
It's either like a
What do
boomer
you
or just
mean?
like
What kind of loud
autistic. I don't
noises? What are you hearing?
just like loud
You have to give
noises.
me an example.
Um,
Like honking?
fire truck sirens.
Yeah,
Like
that's
actually
okay.
like standing next to a fire truck as it's going by. I'm not talking about like being like in your house and like you hear a fire truck go by
Oh
outside.
my god.
I'm talking like you're in the street and a fire truck goes by you. That's a
Dude.
loud noise I do not fuck with. It annoys me.
I would have 2 months ago. I would have laughed at you for this. I was next to the Veterans Day parade and like like my town square.
Yeah.
They had probably 12 fire trucks go by, literally just blaring every horn, everything possible for like 20 minutes straight. And I was like, this is the most, like, who is even here for this? This is just obstructive. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, dude.
No, I actually do know what you mean. That it's just obnoxious.
That fucking horn might make me more angry than the siren itself, especially when like
Yeah.
the fire truck or ambulance driver just fucking holds it
It
down.
just,
I'm like,
fucking
bro,
goes crazy on it.
just once or twice,
Yeah.
just give it a little meh, meh. Like we hear it. Everyone hears it. Like holding it down isn't gonna make anybody move any like faster. It's just gonna fucking piss everybody around you off.
It is a high stakes situation though, so I do kind of get it.
I mean, sometimes, but dude, half the time, you know they know they're responding to just like a fender bender. You know they're responding to a fender bender. Ain't nothing going on.
Yeah, but what if someone's stuck on their toilet, bro? And they
Yeah, well, fucking the 30 seconds that it's gonna take longer isn't gonna be a life changer there. I don't think.
And you know what really bothers me actually, and this is I've probably said this before, but people who speak slowly, and just one of my fears
I
of
knew
leaving
that was
the
gonna
Northeast.
be one of yours.
Dude, it triggers me so much when someone just can't spit the fuck out like what they're trying to say, and it's like I don't know if it's a Northeast thing or like where how I grew up, but it's like
It's definitely a Northeast thing.
I just want to yell at you, like please just finish what you're saying.
Just get it out.
It's so honestly, so many of my pet peeves I think like that I would think of off the spot are just like me dealing with annoying people, like people that in my head are annoying. Like people who can't answer questions directly. I think I've talked about this before. Or like people who don't have like a clear opinion. Dude, that shit is just so fucking annoying to me. It's just like, dude, if I ask you a question and you give me a response that is not a direct answer to the question I gave you, like I'm gonna ask you that question again, and if you don't answer it again, like I'm gonna just flip out. Like
this is the
like,
guy with the
please,
poli
just
sci degree.
answer the fucking question. Yeah, it would have been a great cross-examiner, to be honest. I should have become a lawyer, dude.
That's not what I asked.
Built for it. Yeah. I'm gonna restate the question.
You'd also quickly whip Congress into shape. Every politician gets whipped into shape instantly. Don on the committee. That's not what I asked.
Oh man.
Oh man.
But yeah. Yeah, a lot of my pet peeves I feel like are like interpersonal stuff. Like I'm not that bothered by actually littering. I've talked about
I
it, but
fucking
littering
hate littering.
triggers
Man.
the fuck out of me.
That's so easy to just throw your shit out in a garbage can. Just put it in the garbage can, man.
I don't even understand. And you know what's crazy when we watch those videos of other countries where it's even worse? But the thing is, they have an excuse. There's like there's no garbage disposal. There's no dumpsters. There's no trash cans. They don't have anywhere else to put it.
Yeah.
But in the U.S., there's a fucking trash can
On
every
every
fucking
block.
corner. So why are you throwing your fucking shit on the floor? It makes no fucking sense. It's ridiculous. And people, if you're ever eating food and you decide, man, this chicken is so good, I'm just gonna throw this chicken bone on the fucking sidewalk. I mean, if there's one reason to believe in the fucking death penalty, it's literally for those people. I mean, fucking ridiculous. Anyway, that's a dog.
Tell
That's
me how
probably a
you
dog
really
owner
feel.
thing. I mean, that's probably like a dog owner issue, but it's like if I have to be fucking scanning
No, dude,
the
I
fucking
feel you
sidewalk for
heavily
fucking
with that.
chicken bones so that my dog doesn't fucking kill herself because you're just fucking walking down the street eating wings and throwing fucking on the like it's. I haven't seen someone do it, so why are they so common? Like, what are you throwing them at the window of your car? Like,
It's just
so
one
fucking
guy.
weird
It's just
to
one
me.
guy eating all the wings.
It's one guy in the town that just gets wings every Tuesday. and he's just
Nationwide.
like,
Nationwide. He's doing it everywhere.
nationwide. Yeah.
No,
And you know what?
that's funny. I was
It's
just
recyclable.
walking Emmy the other day, and bro, there's like a little park near us, and she like runs over, like not even next to a garbage can, like under a tree, and I'm like, okay, she's just sniffing some other dog's piss. Dude, she pulled out like half a crab from the tree. I'm like, who the fuck was eating crab under a tree? Why is there crab here?
Like a big crab
A
leg?
crab,
or
like a hat, like the shell, like the back of the crab and a leg. Yeah, and she like pulls it
my
out and just starts
God.
crunching on it. I'm like, stop.
Did you stick your hand
I
in
stuck
there?
my whole hand in her mouth, dude. There was nothing else I could do. She still swallowed like half of it, but thank God
Yeah.
she wasn't like, it came out
Dude.
smooth, no worries. But I was like, bro, who's eating crab under a tree in the parking lot of the park? Like, it's
Here, I
not
have a
even like
mega New York story, dude. Are you ready
yeah,
for this?
yeah. Hit me
When
with it.
Sarah was a puppy, she found a dead rat and she put the entire thing in her mouth, and I had to
Oh,
stick my hand
bro,
down her throat and literally pull this dead carcass, this literal rat
that's
carcass.
brutal.
I guess it was like a mouse out of her. Bro, I've never been so disgusted in my fucking life. I literally took it and like flung it. It was so crazy, bro.
Dude,
Like
I
just a
had something
literal
really
dead
similar
rat.
when we were down in Virginia.
Yeah.
There's like these. We're like basically like at sea level, right? So like there's like these
Okay.
like little culverts that they like dig out on the side of the
I
road
don't
that
know what
like
a culvert is.
it's
Is
like
that
a
just
it's
like
like a
a
little ditch thing on the side of the road
okay
that like it's just for like water
for
runoff
water?
basically, so
Okay,
that
yeah,
like
yeah.
the water has somewhere to go essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like always standing water in these things because
Oh
we're
yeah.
like at sea level basically, and it's just like disgusting, dude. And like there's like frogs, turtles, little fish are in these fucking
Yeah.
puddles and shit. And
Yeah.
it's like, that's fine. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is the fact that every car that comes through runs over like one or two of them. And there's just like little dead frog carcasses everywhere. One time I had to pull like a half a frog out of Emmy's, like rotting
Oh,
frog out of
dude.
Emmy's mouth. And I
Oh
was like,
no.
bare fingers, just had nothing else to grab it with. But like, what am I going to do in the moment? It's like,
Yeah.
so
And
I,
you did it quick, I bet too, right? Because I remember when
quick,
I
and then
saw
I
it's just
launched
like
it. I like yeeted it too
yes.
afterwards.
I know exactly, dude. It's crazy how that instinct like activates, though, right?
Some kind of parental thing, yeah.
Yeah, it is. But it's interesting how it's just like you just like go right in. Like I didn't even think about it.
Dude, we've had a really animated podcast. I know Sarah's been freaking out half the podcast.
Yeah,
Emmy's like
she's
under me
fucking
right
out.
now, like looking up at me, like, what's going on? Is everything okay?
Yeah, Sarah keeps handing me this fucking toy, and she just like wants me to throw it, but it's just like,
Yeah, Emmy just wants scratches. This bitch.
no, they're so needy, bro.
Oh, you know what? I bet the audience thought that we forgot that our last episode, the World Cup of Names, was inconclusive.
That's true. But
And we
the people have
have
spoken.
the people have spoken. As a reminder, we're in the finals, the World Cup of Names finals. And our two names are Pervis Estupiñán from Ecuador and Georgian de Arrascaeta from Uruguay.
Now, I haven't looked at the voting. Have you looked at it already? Do you know?
I haven't looked at it
Surprise me.
in a little bit. Oh, shit.
I
I
want you
somehow
to
also
announce it.
lost your webcam here. I got to order. Move to top? Nope, that's not the right one. There we go. Oh, nope, that's not the right one. That's our chat. There we go. Hopefully there's nothing incriminating in that chat. Anyway, here we are in the finals. Pervis Estupiñán, Georgian de Arrascaeta. I have not looked at the poll, I will confess. Now, I'm not expecting like a ton of votes on our poll, but we have what we have, right? So
Well, our voting body was handpicked.
a handpicked half dozen of the biggest name experts in the country.
Yeah, we had very strict parameters to judge the names on. They took a whole week to decide. So we didn't open voting until today, but we obviously displayed the options. So I think that this will be a definitive winner.
It's a definitive winner. Should I guess you know what I'll say what the margin is. I've got the margin up in front of me.
Yeah.
Our elite best of 5 voting panel, which did include Don and myself. The final vote, our winner of the World Cup of Names, Pervis Estupiñán. 4 votes to 1.
Pervert.
The stupid pervert
won.
has won the World Cup of Names.
Pervis Estupiñán, the stupid pervert.
Gold medal.
One of the greatest to ever do it. Coming straight out of Ecuador.
A winner.
Wait,
a
he's
born
from
winner.
Ecuador, right?
Yeah, Ecuador.
Maybe the biggest win Ecuador's ever had. I don't want to say
At the
that,
World
but
Cup,
I think it
certainly,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely the biggest World Cup dub.
Biggest one they might ever have. I might
I'll
go so
out
far.
myself. I voted for Giorgio de Arrascaeta, my boy. I don't even know if I pronounced it right.
Close enough. You want to explain yourself?
Close enough. Yeah, let me just lay out the argument for my boy here.
All right.
We have triple name, okay? Extremely representative of his country. It flows beautifully. And I feel like personally,
I feel like that could be an Argentinian
Pervis
name.
Estupiñán is like, it's a dub, Like it's a good name, but it's just a little bit too memey for me. I don't
Too
feel
memey.
like it really. I don't feel like the Ecuadorian people are gonna be naming their kids Purvis for generations to come. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good point. They could
so that's
Georgian could be a real name. That's true.
you know what I mean. It's also like it's a little bit too memey and a little bit too unique, I think. But that's also what makes it great. So it's really just it really just depends on the angle you take it at. But that's why I made my decision. You know what I mean? I felt like, um, Giorgio is just it just flowed well. I felt like if I put it up against the other names, um,
He would have gotten
in
more
the
dubs.
bracket, it would have get more dubs than Purvis. Yeah, like
Yeah.
there's something about Purvis that it's just a little bit too memey for me. But
Hey, fair enough.
listen, the people spoke, and I respect their decision because listen, that's life. You gotta
We live in a democracy,
take
baby.
your L's. Yeah, exactly.
This isn't Soviet Russia. This isn't
Fascist Italy.
Fascist Italy. I was trying to think of some of the
We might be going back to
who are some.
Italy,
I was trying to think of some South American dictators. Like I was blanking.
Oh, fucking what's the Chilean guy who got arrested? Pinochet.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, sure, Pinochet. Yeah, this isn't
Pinochet.
Pinochet's Chile.
Yeah.
Anyway, that brings us to just about an hour. So, should we say our goodbyes?
That was pretty. That felt like a long hour. I gotta be honest.
We just hit an hour.
Oh, we just hit an hour. That was
jam-packed with content.
I mean, crazy content. I mean, rate it. Give us. How about we do this? Give me like a 1 to 10. How you feeling this one?
I'm not gonna give you a 1 to 10, but I think this is top 2 of our episodes so far.
2?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe top 3.
16.
I'll call it top 3 because I'm sure I'm forgetting some episodes.
Episode 16. We just get better and better every week. You know.
I should have just said that at the beginning of the podcast. This is the top 3 podcast episode. Listen to the whole thing, or you won't understand why.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll be back for episode 17 next week. Peace.